it's cool. There was another thought I had and I forgot it because I started making fun of you. Because the white guy wants to comment on
I was using my position of privilege because they'll listen to me, not to you. Come on now.
this is not a lie. People, yeah, it's true. It's like
Welcome to the Daily Cup of Genre here on the Genreverse Podcast Network and YouTube channel. Follow us on your favorite podcast app, wherever you get those from, like Google or Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel because besides Manny and I showing up most of Monday through Friday, we've got a lot more things, shows for Marvel, shows for Star Wars, shows for anime. Yeah, a lot of great things going on. And of course, on the YouTube channel, you also get the reaction videos. So check out all of that great stuff. I'm Kyle, that's Manny, and LRMonline.com pays. So check out that website every day for all your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. Manny, man, it's kind of hard to believe we're already into the second week of October, and I just got we had done some minor decorations, but like I just did the front yard and I did the lights inside the house. What'd you do this weekend?
couple things. We went to go watch Smile.
Then number one movie in America this week.
Ended up being
this weekend.
What are you doing?
No, I thought you were. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that much. You staring at your cat, I'm guessing.
Yeah. He's like, he looks like he's gonna attack something, but there's nothing there.
Ghosts.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, we watched Smile. That was it was pretty good. It was kind of it was your generic horror movie. Like I could tell you exactly what was gonna happen the whole way through. And then it's always fun when you see the scare coming, but it still gets you. And you're just like, God damn it. I was like, this is fun. All right, it's fun. This is good stuff. So yeah, it was like, it's your basic we were talking afterwards, we had dinner. It was like, it was really generic, huh? I was like, well, everybody loves Marvel movies. This is the same thing. You just put a fresh coat of paint on it, you slap it twice, and you say it's good to go. So it was decent. It was fun. And then it really made me want to talk box office numbers, because another movie
still abysmal.
And then the other thing I did, just to keep it short, Extreme Rules was on Saturday. That's a WWE.
Yeah.
Not pay-per-view, live.
Came back.
Yeah, and then there was some guys. Bray Wyatt came back.
There.
Yeah, he was. Honestly, his return, regardless of where he went, was going to really dictate. The core. It's funny because there's wrestling fans who think that AEW at some point became superior than WWE.
Yeah,
but it's kind of always been wishful thinking. Like I enjoyed both. They have AEW has a lot of good spots for indie wrestling, but as far as production value, as far as now, especially now that Triple H is taking over, you cannot beat the corporate juggernaut that is WWE. There's a reason why they've been around so long. There's a reason why AEW consistently now has talent fighting with each other, and I've heard about the drama, and the actual drama in the back has been more interesting than their actual storylines in the front.
I heard that's because the owner wants to manage everything himself instead of having someone that has talent relations, someone that does the booking, someone that Well,
the problem is you can't have the ownership also be wrestlers in your own promotion, because it creates a conflict of interest. And that's a problem. That's the reason why Cody Rhodes left and he went back to WWE. He saw this all coming. But they're gonna try to tell you that honestly, there's some great talent there, that I love to watch on AEW, but sometimes the commentary and just the production value of it, the camera angles, the shots they take, that when they switch on and off to things, it is abysmal.
Starting to show it's not as polished as some
well,
thought.
It's not. I would think that instead of trying to buy every wrestler that becomes available, they should probably actually try to find some really good talented production people for the back. Like that would be
they AEW is kind of like the Raiders have been for the past, almost decade and a half, where they kept thinking they could just, well, this goes back to Al Davis's days of before he passed in the early 2010s of being able to buy a Super Bowl via one or two.
I'm sorry, I thought
picks,
you should have said Cowboys, because at least the Raiders a lot of times are just like the Raiders just like, yeah, we kind of suck. But the Cowboys, they always really actually believe they're gonna do anything. And then like right now they're they've won a couple games in a row or whatever, and they're so excited. It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter, you're gonna go to the playoffs, play an actual good team, and and then they're gonna be like, we beat the Rams. It's like, you beat like the shell of what is left of the Rams. Everyone's beating the Rams. That's not saying much right now. and you're doing it without your actual quarterback, which is even sadder, because once the game you lost is actually with Prescott. So it's it's an interesting
it's always bad when because even though wrestling is choreographed and has the scripting elements to it, it's still a athletic event. It's still a talent and audience driven event, much like regular sports. So yeah, that idea that you can just buy a ticket seller, the more players on a team and the more variables, the less buying one player can really make a difference. And I maybe AEW's learning that lesson now, like you said.
Well, you can. When CM Punk went over to AEW, it was a massive shift. But the problem is chemistry, and then storylines. What are you gonna do with them after because you're gonna get that pop, but then what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
That's
the angle. What's the line for that?
Right, and that's the problem, is that they've acquired so much talent and not really knowing what to do with them, that you just leave people really upset, and that's what's happening with quite a few wrestlers over there. Trying
to have a season of all-star games versus a regular season and one all-star game every now and then.
Because the thing is, it's like, there's stories, so somebody's got to lose. And so you can't have the same people losing, or you just can't have the same people just in the back just not doing anything, and then try to bring them out in 3 months and expect them to be any so relevant. So it's fun. I enjoy this. I still call it a sport, because I've seen it live a lot of times, and there's no chance in hell I can do that. It's always funny too, because when I post things about it, that there's always somebody who's like, it's fake, right? And it's like, I had no idea. I know, really.
You mean to tell me that it's scripted and choreographed to be sports entertainment, as Vince used to, call it? I mean, yeah, we get it. It's still fun.
Yeah, I know. It's a great time. Oh yeah, the presentation, especially from like Bray Wyatt, has always been amazing, and this has been no different. The teasing that he did for weeks, followed by the actual his actual return. That's why it's that kind of stuff, those kind of illusions that we enjoy the product. But yeah. So box office numbers.
Yes, we can. This is the Daily Cup of Genre, and we talked sports, which is a genre of entertainment, and now we're going to movies. I like it.
There's a movie that came out this weekend that had Christian Bale, Taylor Swift, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Anna Taylor-Joy, Robert De Niro, Rami Malek, Mike Myers,
Amsterdam? Are
Chris
you talking
Rock,
Amsterdam?
Yeah, How much do you think it made?
I can see how much it made in all 3,005 theaters, averaging 2,163 per theater. $6.5 million. Way to go, guys.
Yep.
All of those names, and you know each of them took at least at least $1 million. I mean, I don't know.
The production of the film was 80 million. So let you know that.
Okay, so yeah, I'd say each of this money didn't pay for half the talent, I bet.
Then there was a movie with
I don't know,
with the
maybe.
crocodile that made a little bit more than that.
Yeah, a cartoon crocodile.
Yeah.
Lyle crocodile. Yeah. I mean, look, I know there are those. I mean, that's not even a searchlight. That's just straight 20th century, it looks like. Which
What,
makes
Amsterdam?
a big, yeah.
Yeah, 20th century.
That makes a big difference on if it's like small indie imprint or not. But you know, I lost my train of thought right there. I'm sorry. Yeah, I lost the train of thought. It's not good. And Smile doing the being the number one movie, like I said, with under 20 million. It's just we're in an awful situation where movie theaters and movie studios. We'll stick with the theaters for the moment. Movie theaters, they need you there. Like, they don't get anything out of streaming. They get no cut when you get streaming going. You cut the theater completely out of the process of making money, and they need that. You know, they need money. So it sucks for them on that aspect. On the studio side of things, Manny and I have constantly told you guys, and you can see this with how much content and stuff that Warner Brothers is starting to cut. You can see it in the drop of quality and Marvel and Star Wars stuff for the most part over on Disney Plus. You gotta make money to make content. You know, content doesn't come for free, and you can talk all you want that the executive suite should take the C-suite should take pay cuts. But even if they all take drastic pay cuts, that's not enough to pay for an Avengers movie and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When movies cost hundreds of millions of dollars to do, the top end studio execs taking a pay cut will not be that big of a difference. So with the studios seeing that, one, we put something out in Paramount Plus. I know they've been doing a lot of dual release type stuff. Was this dual release, Manny?
So Smile.
So
Smile
that actually
is an interesting point because Smile
if it was both, yeah.
No. Smile was supposed to be a dual release.
Oh.
We even on our site, if you look at kind of the preview stuff, it says in theaters and streaming on whatever day it was going to be. And then it tested well, and Paramount said, "Just kidding, we're gonna just put it in theaters
only."
Which I was like, "Hey, you know what? Good on you." On the other hand, this weekend.
Oh, Smile! This is the second weekend for Smile. I thought it was brand new.
No, this is second weekend.
Oh, so that's an even bigger deal because it only dropped down to 17 from 22. Guys, I'm sorry. It's Monday. I had a very, very long week. We put up a lot of content here last week.
Good on you.
Thanks. So yeah, that's an even bigger deal, which is good, and that's positive for Paramount Plus because, like many had said, they were and have in the past done the dual release thing, but it goes back to that thing Matt Damon pointed out. You and I have pointed out before Matt Damon, but many people have had similar thoughts that streaming takes away that second chance at gaining an audience and making money because there's no rental fees, there's no home video sales, or I know there's still some, but not as many Redbox, and I know some people like myself still like to purchase physical media, but horror movies made their living from home video and rentals
Yeah.
20 years ago. That's how, I mean, that's how most of us discovered some of our most beloved horror movies, is at a video rental store, and that creepy horror section that always had some of those iconic covers for like Hellraiser or Halloween.
Yeah, the It cover.
The It cover with the claw, absolutely. I mean, that's what drew us there, and that's gone. So good on Paramount and Smile. That's great news. But it's still a drop in the bucket, and I can't express enough to the audience that I'm not simping for billion-dollar companies. I'm not.
Same.
I'm simping for myself. I want to be entertained at a specific quality and quantity, something that I'd kind of grown accustomed to there in the 2010s, if you will, except towards the very end of them. So yeah, and like I said, you can look at the executive pay. Yeah, I mean, really, you would save more money attacking like talent pay on multiple projects, but still, it's not enough. We have to be willing to pay for our entertainment.
So I think kind of my point with looking at the numbers is with the cast that Amsterdam had, and with the amount with the amount of money it made, do you think all the bickering from Billy Eichner is valid? Or do we take these numbers and point at him and go, look, man, this is a movie with all this talent.
Yeah.
And look what it did.
Hey Billy, funny guy. I like your man on the street type stuff is great. I'm not a rom-com person in general at all. Like, I think the last one I can say I watched and enjoyed was Blast from the Past.
Like what
that's
obviously
it,
what people want is horror. They want horror movies right now. They want they want scary movies, if they're even going to the theater at all.
If they're going to the theater, that's what I'm saying. Billy, this is the main reason why your movie didn't do so hot. No movies without some sort of big, massive nostalgic draw. No Way Home, Top Gun, Maverick. They're not going to make that much money. We'll see what Black Adam does next week.
The next 2 weeks are going to be very telling, because you have Halloween Ends, which is a dual release.
Yeah.
And then you have Black Adam in 2 weeks. And it'll be interesting to see how Black Adam does, but it has, especially with the star power that is The Rock.
So what do you think, Manny? What is Black Adam's opening weekend right now? Let me see if I can't go to when did Thor was like July something, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like straight up in the summer.
Top Gun, Maverick, Jurassic World. So I think Thor was after theirs. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Thor had a domestic opening of 144 million, a little bit over that.
And then Jurassic World had 145. Maverick did 126. All right, Black Adam, Manny, what do you think?
Do you really want my honest opinion?
I want your God's honest opinion.
I'm going to go in between the two numbers that I have floating in my head. I have 120.
120? Okay.
Maybe. My brain keeps telling me to stay about 115.
You know what? I've had 110.
Okay. We're pretty close.
I've had 110. I think, and that's with the Rock's star power. I
think it's just a weird release time.
I think it's going to have a good shot that if the opening weekend word of mouth is positive, okay, I think this is going to be one of those cases. Man, we've been saying everything's so front loaded, nobody waits anymore. I think this is one of those ones where people are going to want to hear what the diehard fans that are there, already got their tickets purchased and everything. Excuse me. They're going to hear what they say first. They're going to hear if any of the Superman rumors shake loose, what the general vibe is. And I think as long as it's relatively positive, and I mean like realistically positive, not the oh my god it's the greatest thing ever from DC type positive. I mean the hey look it's good, it's entertaining, there's a fun fun moments, yada 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 yada. If that comes out, I think it has a really good second weekend, like maybe a 50% drop instead of the what seems to be average for tent poles these days of 65 percent, somewhere in that frame. But yeah, man, I feel 110 because I just don't feel any buzz for it. Do you?
I don't. I don't see. I don't. And it's funny because every time I go to the theater, my girlfriend keeps asking me, "Is like, are you excited for Black Adam?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I guess." And then she kind of looks at me like what? But like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's been in our minds for so long.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like, all right, like this movie just needs to happen already. And then also maybe because of the
we're
fact
like
that
this, others are like that too. Then
exactly. But I do think that it has a strong chance of doing well just because people were like, ooh, The Rock.
It's got The Rock.
Yeah, they should have cast Kevin Hart in something there, maybe as like Batmite or something, and allowed him to be in the movie just for the fun of it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the marketing has been very stiff so far.
Yes,
and
limited.
They're really trying to sell it like he's I don't know, like it's like he's an anti-hero, but he's not an anti-hero, but he's a villain, but he's not, but he's The Rock. And so it's like, so what exactly are we getting here? That's it's
that's what we all want to know.
The two trailers have been very conflicting with each other. And I do think that they are trying to hide something, which is fine. But in that case, then you're it's like kind of like you said, then you may have to wait for people to watch it and go like, oh yeah, it was great, or nah, it wasn't. So it's very weird, to say the least, the way it is. But then also like the DCEU is kind of in shambles also. So, but it looks like they're kind of getting their foot back. I mean, they had Ezra Miller last week doing reshoots, and and supposedly the trio of stars have been seen around Hollywood the last few days. Who, why would they all be in Hollywood at the same time? I don't know. Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, and Ben Affleck.
Them. Oh.
So I mean, it's Hollywood, so they could just be there, whatever. But still,
just be there.
Speculation's always fun, or else you wouldn't have a job sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's we'll see. It's I'm not overly excited to see how it does, because I feel like it's gonna be one of those disappointing things. And I think theaters like Regal Cinema World, their parent company, were like, yep, this ain't gonna save us. And that's that we still have Black Panther coming up. Black Panther, I think that one I would give 135, 140.
You see, I think that it might almost be the opposite. I think there's and only because I can't think of a better phrase. I think there's a morbid curiosity for Black Panther that I think will drive it 150 plus.
I think what it'll do, and something that I'm actually still happy for, it's gonna get a very good Hispanic push. Because it's a big deal. It's a big deal to us. We're getting representation in the MCU in a major character with an actor that I've seen him in quite a few things. And so with that said, I think that it's gonna get that Hispanic push, as well as the nostalgia of and kind of the pay. A lot of people will see it as a way to pay respects, but then again, you should have watched I think it's what is it called,
Not sure.
Rainey's Black Bottom.
Oh,
That was his last. I think that was his last official movie. That's if you want to have a good send off for Chadwick Boseman, watch how good he is in that movie. Fantastic with Viola Davis. Or his last Marvel role was What If. And that was sad. I didn't like that, and I didn't like that in a sad way. But so Wakanda Forever. I think there's going to be a lot of parts that are going to upset people with maybe who is the Black Panther and kind of the way. I don't know. We'll see. But I think it's gonna be 140, 145. It's gonna get a good Hispanic push, and
I might bump mine up to about 160, 165. Then
if it goes higher, then
I didn't even think because Black Panther, you immediately are drawn to the Chadwick Boseman side of that story. So
because if you look at like the posters and stuff that they're doing, they're really heavily Namor's here.
Yeah,
and I think both. That I think it's gonna. I think the Univisions, the Telemundos are the Spanish media. Hell, I'm going to. We're gonna push it hard as representation in
LRM does stand for Latino Review Media.
That's funny because we ain't got very many of us. We got white people.
Gig and Jammer.
Gig's not Latino.
Oh, sorry.
Jammer doesn't even speak Spanish.
Jammer speaks some.
Not really, no.
Some?
I don't think so.
He speaks some.
I mean,
Nancy.
Just because
right?
you can, Nancy, yes. Because she's a Spanish interview.
Exactly.
I always make fun of Jammer, but no, he's doing good. We just covered his book in which he has a lot of South American representation.
Which, get this, he burned my ass, or the guys over at Breaking Geek tried to burn my ass because I mentioned that someone in the comments on our Black Panther Wakanda Forever reaction video had mentioned that his wings are going to be different than from the comics. They'll be based on a deity that uses, or a deity based on hummingbirds, or hummingbirds are super important to it. And I was like, that's really cool. And I figured maybe Jammer had come across. That's like a really deep cut. You know what I'm saying? That's not one that I'm tracking on when I think of imagery from South and Central. Well, it's the southern part of northern part of Central America, whatever. It's a deeper cut, and I was, curious as if to, what his thoughts were on getting to such a deep cut, and wondering if he had, kind of come across that in his own stuff. And he's just like, yeah, I don't know that much about it, so that's my fault. That's my ignorance. And I'm like, no, but okay. And then anyways, it was funny, but kind of like, dude, you just talked about how you looked into some of this stuff. That's all I was kind of curious about. Was like,
all I know is that
and get them in their echo chamber, and all of a sudden,
I will say that the wings on his legs, regardless of where they come from, they look stupid. Greek mythology, whatever, wings on your feet are stupid. I don't care what culture it is.
Yellow spandex is stupid too. So
I guess you're right. It's all kind of weird.
Cap's wings on his helmet. Thor's wings on his. They're all kind of silly.
Kind of like aesthetically pleasing though. This is on your head, and they don't do anything. It's just for decoration. But these actually flap. And they do something.
It is weird.
I mean, it's just as weird to just have Wonder Woman randomly start flying too.
Yeah, be able to lasso lightning.
That's different. That's kind of like if you have connection to Zeus and whatever. I get it. There's some background there. So whatever. So yeah. So it's I'm super excited, man. I've already told my girlfriend. When that statue comes out of Namor, it's a done deal. It's
done deal.
I have to buy it. It's
immediately.
Oh yeah, it's just one of those. It's one of those things you gotta have to do it, because I don't think we're ever gonna get a character like this again. So, I mean, we are probably, but
like
for,
I
for the
said,
time.
the oddest thing about Marvel is I mean, I hate to say it, and it's both a good place for them, but also sad that it's the primary place. But if you are in general a diversity character, you're not getting your own book. You're relegated to the X books. You're a mutant. Who is the Hispanic Black Panther, like character of that prestige and caliber, if you will, in Marvel that
We
has
don't have one.
their own book? That exactly. So we don't
really have one in DC either.
Then one of the Batgirls, like the current one, and she Hispanic, or is that just one random one?
Okay, so
I'm
you're
thinking of?
comparing a black
don't
girl
know.
to a Black
No,
Panther?
I'm not saying no.
That's
No,
exactly
I'm
what
saying
you
like
just said.
at least they've got that. At least they've got that. That's at least something like a B tier,
mean,
not someone relegated
closer
to
to
the
that
X-Men, right?
I mean, what are you gonna like? I'm grateful for Jaime Reyes,
Yeah.
but and so like the closest way we're getting this representation now is through changing the kind of the backgrounds. With Supergirl's happening, you have with Namor,
Yep.
and there's been a couple here and there, but there's to say that that is our our Black Panther, that is our Captain,
no.
that is our
Not saying that they are equal.
we don't like our Shang-Chi or something like that. Like we don't have that. We
that is crazy. You got Robbie. Is it Robbie Reyes is the Ghost Rider, or is that an actor's name?
No, it's Robbie Reyes. Yeah.
Okay. You've got him. You've got
He's a cool
America.
Too.
Yeah. And Alejandra, Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones, if I'm not mistaken. She,
but besides like 15 people that know them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like there are a few. Torres, the new Falcon character, they're bringing him into the MCU proper, but there is no just and they really haven't, even in the comics, had to my knowledge, correct us if we're wrong in the comments, but they haven't even had a big like how like Riri Williams becomes an African American female in a Iron Man slot, or you have Jane coming into the Thor slot. They haven't even done like a big Hispanic switch for a major character.
It's
well, you've got Miles Morales. He's a big one. I could already hear people screaming at the top of their lungs at us. He is one of those characters that gets a split appeal. Well, in many ways, being black and Hispanic, so he's mixed race.
The thing that's great about it. Oh, there's America Chavez also, who's I
mentioned her.
My issue with America Chavez, though,
she's an in the beginning from another place, right?
Was like they tried when it seems like when they made her, they tried to fit like every minority stereotype into one character. And
Man, we thought we were gonna avoid hot takes.
No, it's fine to have characters like that, and I love her portrayal, and she's great. But when I first saw her in comics, I was like, what are they doing? It's like, let's make sure that she's a female, she's gay, she's Latina, she's an alien, she's this, and it's like, all right, so like what exactly is she, and then with Miles Morales, the difference there is you can take any kid almost out of Brooklyn, and he's in a very similar situation as far as the way some of the issues he's going through, and I thought that was a brilliant character by Brian Michael Bendis. He has had his moments. Don't ever let him touch Superman again, but he has had his moments. And I think that it was done really, really well. But we'll see. I thought that I like that. It was a complaint of the past of me for America Chavez, but something I've obviously, like, whatever, I got over it. It's fine. She's a good character. She's a good, I guess, because of what she's been able to do, she's a good catalyst for the multiverse and being able to travel from one place to another. It's worked, and Is our time coming as Hispanics? I guess so, because we're slowly starting to get a little bit of help here and there, and it's great because we're gonna see Namor soon. We just saw Chavez. We're gonna see Sasha Calle soon. Sometimes at some point with the Flash, we're gonna see not Robbie Reyes, Jaime Reyes soon. Hey, it's happening, and what I hope it does, and it is the thing that my whole point in all of this is that in the early days, white people all wrote the comic books, and it's not till recently that you've had quite a lot of representation in comic book writing and creating these characters for Marvel and DC that you're starting to see just a little bit more variety.
And we definitely need more original creations to start getting that A-list treatment, because like we've been racking our brains here trying to find the Black Panther equivalent for Hispanics. I mean, Asians and we know the racist history of some of these books and characters, true, yeah. But Shang-Chi definitely, I mean, they got a movie. Shang-Chi got a movie, and it got a great movie. It's got the most solid non-gimmick dependent Phase 4 movie. It's the best non-gimmick dependent, meaning No Way Home, the gimmick of nostalgia. And
yeah, it didn't even
Multiverse of Madness.
It did such a great job at just representing the character and then representing the culture and Asian culture in movies.
Shang-Chi did
like four different types of martial arts that were represented.
And fights through it. Yeah, it was. I loved that. I loved how we got the modern day Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style. We got a Bruce Lee style. We got a Jackie Chan style. It was wonderful. I loved it. So yeah, I've been around a major Hispanic population most of my life through the military. They're well represented in the military, so that's awesome. Living in California, living in Arizona, it's some of my favorite food, and there are so many stories and elements that I've been lucky enough to get exposed to that it's time for everyone else to get exposed to even more deep cuts, more Latin American, Hispanic mythology and stories, folk tales, fairy tales, all the things that we get from Grimm's and Mother Goose that have informed so many other things that exist in other cultures. And it's time to put some light, and that requires creators to get their fair shot. And that's not to say that they should take someone else's shot. It's just saying actually give everyone a fair shot at a fair pitch. And you know what? You might even need to take 3 or 4 Hispanic projects into the next meeting versus one of each, just to kind of make sure you're getting through it.
Because I'm tired of his style of music. Like he's great and everything, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Kyle's the type of guy that tries to order Mexican food in Spanish.
No, because he
says things like gracias. He's like, I love the Spanish culture, and then he holds up a burrito and takes a bite.
Exactly. No, I actually. So you know how. So this is how legit I am.
No, I was afraid of this.
Hold on, my tortillas, they get heated up. In a mic, no, I'm joking. In the skillet, man, of course. Okay. In this freaking skillet. Come on now.
Good. All right. Yeah, that's good.
I know what I'm doing. Oh my god.
Do you really? Do you, Kyle?
Yes.
Okay. As long as it's cool. There was another thought I had and I forgot it because I started making fun of you. Because the white guy wants to comment on
I was using my position of privilege because they'll listen to me, not to you. Come on now.
This is not a lie. People, yeah, it's true. It's like
the white boy said it. Let's get to it.
The white, yeah, because and you would say this on Indigenous People Day, or as your people call it, Columbus Day.
You know, as our show completely falls apart here into complete stereotype and racism, I'll say this, okay? I have never ever since I was in elementary school and learned that like towards the end of elementary school that Columbus didn't discover America, and that dude never stepped 1 foot on what we call the United States of America. Didn't. Territories and stuff, got it, but the country known as the USA, the United States, nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with us. And the stuff that he did touch that we've either owned in the past or may still own are minimal in the grand scheme of things. So why do we use his name for a freaking holiday? I've never understood that, because
I don't understand why.
Nothing to do with us.
Yeah, the history is there that it never happened. Yet here we are still technically with the holiday. And I understand that, that in it's called, Indigenous People Day, which I think we need to find a better name. But it's just long. That's what it is. It's almost like Happy International Women's Day. It's just a long name. It's just
like a light novel title.
It's just as long as Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh,
like we need to shorten it up a bit. I'm saying the holiday is valid. Just shorten the name up. We need it. I
don't get Americans that are like, even Italian Americans, guys, he didn't discover anything dealing with us. So it would be like you complaining how America doesn't celebrate other Italian holidays from Italy. No,
you can't discover a country where people already live in.
It doesn't count.
You can't discover land that people already live in. Like if there's a house already there, like you didn't discover it. You just showed. Anyway, that's a random rant. But we talked about it all here. So,
yep, we do. Anyways, guys, we got a lot of things on the channel for you on the YouTube channel, Genreverse YouTube channel. You get the anime and trailer reactions. You get anime reviews. You get Star Wars news and reviews on the Cantina. You get we've got one more episode of Review of the Rings until their next season, whenever that happens. Daily COG, Breaking Geek, Anime-Versal Marvel Multiverse Mayhem, so much more available. You guys subscribe, check out all of those in audio format, as long as it's not a video reaction. They go up on all of your favorite podcast apps. Look, we actually look like podcasts now. Everything's got like a solid image versus back when I was always trying to collage stuff because I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. But hey, check it out. Give us a listen. Leave us some reviews, thumbs up, downs, subscribes, whatever. Just communicate. If it's negative, let us know what we can do to improve. All of that and written reviews, celebrity interviews, news articles, opinion pieces all go up on lrmonline.com. Whoo! Chainsaw Man tomorrow, Manny. I'm super freaking excited.
Looking forward to it too, man. Yeah, I am going to check that out.
Good. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. See us react to Chainsaw Man tomorrow, sometime after 12 p.m. Eastern time. Bye.